Am I getting my returns on time, on a satisfactory basis? Probably my measurement criteria is, am I getting better return than what I put in, let's say, fixed deposit? If it's not better than that, I'm definitely very happy. If it's even beating away the real estate prices, I'm probably the happiest person on earth because it's gone far beyond it. So if I'm a stakeholder in an organization and there is a way to constantly keep monitoring how that organization is performing, doing and managing its tasks, I believe my stakeholding nature gets strengthened and I get a lot more confidence in that organization. Now stepping inside the organization, when I run that organization and I'm making sure that people who have put in their trust with me or in me, and I'm going to return to them what I promised, pretty much on the same timelines, I kind of lead myself to a state where there's a totally different paradigm. This paradigm does not depend upon how I would have really created my marketing momentum or how I would have probably gone ahead and created a PR relationship. As long as I'm effective in terms of giving returns right at time, with honesty, without really giving any iota of doubt to government or to my stakeholders, I'm having a business pretty much intact. I see people investing more money. I see it growing. And yes, as I said, there's always a horizontal and a vertical structure to a business. If a business which is in, let's say, real estate construction, there are vertical stuff, construction, building, quality of material, but the horizontals will always be residing on right ethics, right processes, absolute governance in terms of legal matters, coming on for different sectors, say pharma, their vertical may be chemicals, their vertical may be medicines, their vertical may be other drugs and pharmaceuticals, but again, their fundamental would also include a strong understanding of their ethics, their legal processes, their financial investments. So when we talk about the effectiveness, my fundamental belief and what I really want to convey here is to measure, convey, convince, and prove periodically forever till the time yes, the business continues to exist.
I mean, absolutely agree with you. But what do you think the scope here when it comes to say regulatory requirements or the government policies, okay? And especially, I mean, I would say when delivering value to the customer or giving that return to customer what customer is expecting, maybe in the business of, I would say, a share market or it could be in the business of normal IT scenarios. It is very important that the backend what we require to deliver that value to customer and to be very strong. If that backend is very strong, I can say very confidently to my customer that I will give you this return. In order to have that backend strong, what is required? I should have a very strong design. You can say the backend platform would be consistently available for my services. Whereas the backend platform would be available. It may be an application, it may be a resource, or it may be the availability of the raw materials, not of food days. So if my planning is very strong, okay, so I think that guided those parameters. So all those governance, execution, what are the different activities which we are bound to have at the execution stage? That has to be very well planned. The right funding resources has been put in place. So at the operational level, outsourcing operation improvement is not required. I would say the operational, the operation people do not struggle to do those very good business.
And that's where I would like to add a new angle to our discussion. Change. Whenever a change comes in, that's the biggest test of an enterprise or a business survivability or let's say their robustness. So for example, let's suppose today the IT scenario is flowing in a particular direction because of certain policies and guidelines by different organizations and government bodies. Tomorrow a change comes in and this change is so drastic that the existing pillars which support the whole idea, they get shaken. That's where we cannot really have the opportunity to start looking at things on a fresh level. We really have to see that change in the right context and dynamically adjust ourselves. To take an example, I again go back to the scenario of let's say real estate business and many of us must have heard what happened in Noida with regards to cancellation of licenses. A lot of real estate companies got into big trouble there because they had issues which were stuck between the licenses matter. Similarly, if you look on IT scenario, today if NASCOM decides on a new policy, probably that would mean a lot of effort on part of a lot of companies to manage their management and their infrastructure. And that's where we come in and say that effective improvement is what makes the difference. An organization which has got the right analytical capability to find out what is changing in their business or their ecosystem, quantify it, give it a definition, and immediately put in measures to do course correction midway, will possibly define how an organization emerges as well
poor design. But when it comes to addressing the change in the business requirements, addressing the experience creation or the value creation activities which keep on happening on a regular basis, so that time you will trigger a service improvement kind of parameters, and service improvement would be more effective at that phase. So in order to ensure what we committed to customer, if there are any gaps by delivering that, then it would be a part of poor design. Now we are delivering what is supposed to deliver to customer. It is as per the expectation. But taking that experience to the next level, I would say there service improvement would get triggered and would play a vital role.
I think that's why I would like for another example with Tata Nano. When they went to Bengal and their problems there, I think if I'm right, and I don't really claim myself right every time, a lot of Tata business units do not have a plan B. They do not believe in keeping a plan B because they always think that what they are going to target, they will achieve it. But Bengal was a game changer. Bengal, what happened in West Bengal was possibly something they would not have imagined or brought into their calculations. But that's where we might say the effectiveness of changing their forces. They moved out of Bengal despite all the problems. They moved the industry to different parts. And if I'm right, it was partly in Uttarakhand and partly in Gujarat. Again, I may be wrong. But they got their nano project back on track just because they had the measurements and the techniques to do an effective management and effective improvement of any process or any management thing which goes wrong. So the idea is that there are chances when changes would be so drastically different that our designs may not really have the right cast to fit them in. And that's where the effectiveness of improvement or effectiveness of change management will define the success story of an organization. So I might leave it to you, Manish, if you would like to put in a dimension to say that what might have been a better way for Tata to put in a design that would have allowed them and save time when Bengal was really going back to them.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, just I could also can you talk about good design? Okay, I'll come back to this.
So we have flipped the slides. Reverse. Okay.
Coming to good design and going back again to Tata Nano's story once more. I would say that a good design for Tata Nano's possibility would have been the right analysis of political situation in Bengal. Had Tata sat down at the table, taking into account everything that's going between Ms. Mamata Banerjee, CBI, etc., they might have had a backup plan saying that let's not go full steam with Bengal, but keep a part of portfolio diversified or let's say distributed across multiple states. They could have at the same time which they spent shifting their industry or let's say their whole setup from Bengal to other states. Maybe that's where the power of good design would have helped Tata to mitigate their risk and keep their plants intact and producing nano at a lower cost at the right time. So I think that's one way to start. Coming back to the people in real estate when they saw the blunders of